Okay, good morning, everybody. It's Lisa here, and I just kind of wanted to jump on here for a few minutes. I've been watching some videos and thinking about some things, and I was doing great. I got to have Christmas with my oldest stepdaughter and her kids, and we had such a good time. Um, we did it early this year, the middle of November. Sorry, I couldn't think. And that was so fun. And the kids really seemed to love what I bought for them for Christmas. And it just warmed my heart. And I just love spending time with my kids. They're the only kids I have are my three stepdaughters. And I just love them to bits and I love their kids. And I just, I wish I had millions of dollars to help them out and make their lives easier and everything, but I could only do what I can do, and I'm grateful for that. And I just want to tell you it was just wonderful. We had lunch together and it was just very sweet. And they're growing up so fast, the grandkids, and I missed out on a lot, but you know, life is what it is. You make choices and you do things and you just hope that they work out well. I do have some patches on my face. Here, I could take this one off. I have those salicylic acid colloidal patches. I had some blemishes that I'm fighting right now. I mean, isn't that crazy to be 61 and having to deal with blemishes and things on top of wrinkles and the gray hair and physical problems, but whatever. Um, I'm still in my golly in my pajama top today, and so I'm only half dressed. I do need to get ready and get out today and do some errands. And I I don't know. My plans got kind of turned upside down, but I'm gonna go with the flow. So now that I have a little burn on my tongue from my chai latte here, cheers. Um, I was just thinking, I was watching a guy named Edward Economics or something like that on YouTube, and he was showing clips of people that are doing Angel Tree and things that they did and then posted, and then also people that received Angel Tree items. I think part of them were last year's because I'd seen the clips, earlier this fall. But it started me thinking about generosity and gratitude. I grew up in a family where my parents were young during the Depression, and my dad fought in World War II, and my mother worked at Fort Knox, and then they married in the 40s and started their family. So I'm the end of a very baby boomer family. My sister's 80 and I'm 61. There's four of us. We're a bit spread out here in the middle. Two, 4 years apart. Then my brothers are 7 years apart, and then I'm 8 years after the baby, the baby brother who I think tried to. I think he resented me for years, but we do get along well and had a great time growing up together, even with the age difference. Although sometimes he forgot that he was a great big guy and I was just a little thing, and but we had a lot of fun. So anyway, my parents for years, they didn't have a lot, and I'm probably the most spoiled in my family. I am the most spoiled in my family because by the time my other siblings had grown up and started their own families and I was still at home, and my parents and I kind of went a little overboard at Christmas. Um, but I did appreciate everything. And I can remember when I was very young and we would go from Kansas to Kentucky. Usually it was Christmas Eve afternoon. We would take off after my dad would close up the restaurants in Kansas City, the KFCs that were Kentucky Fried Chicken then. They had carryouts here, and we would jump in the car. Mom would have it, everything ready to go, and we'd pack up and jump in the car, and we'd drive all night. Um, and my mom, we'd go to bed, and my grandmother would have us hang up a an old hunting stocking. They were gray wool with the red stripe around the top that I think were left from my grandfather, that she kept and probably wore sometimes because she was a farm woman. And we would hang them on the back of a chair with clothespins. And we'd wake up in the morning and they'd be lying on the chair just bulging. And these were not huge socks. I mean, they were, average size, probably calf length socks these days. And we would be so excited. We would get an orange and nuts and candy and, um, you know, candy cane. I remember getting a toothbrush, socks, every year in our stocking. And, that was the sort of thing that we got from Santa. And then we usually had a gift. Um, I remember the stockings more almost than I do the gifts when I was very, very small. I still have a lot of the toys that I had growing up and books. I didn't have a ton, and I kept and loved what I had. And um, I played hard with some of it, and you can see, but I, I loved everything that I received and was always that kid that got excited over the socks and the toothbrush and the orange and the candy. And uh, that's just how it was. And I remember growing up, of course, with the Sears and J.C. Penney catalogs, the wish book from Sears, and marking the pages and the things that I wanted. And, sometimes we got those items and sometimes we didn't. But whatever I got, I thought was great. I never remember saying or my parents having to tell us, that we were being ungrateful because we complained that was that all or we didn't get something we asked for. I don't remember tears or anything like that ever. I was watching these people who were buying for Angel Tree, and some of them were posting what they were buying. This one lady in particular, I know she was on TikTok or something and was kind of viral, and I suppose she's some sort of influencer or something. But anyway, they have a little boy, so the boy's issues and the items the boys got, they weren't a problem. But the girl wanted very specific items. Now I think both only had like four things on their list. And they were told to spend at least $30. The little girl's list probably would have been under $50. And the little boy's list you could probably do because he didn't ask for specific, like brands or dolls or toys. It was a remote control car and a ball. And I can't now remember the two other things. I think a Lego set or Legos, and I can't remember. But the little girl wanted like a little Chelsea mermaid doll and another kind of baby doll accessory. It was shampoo or something for her baby doll. Maybe she asked for the baby doll, and then um, I can't remember now what the fourth item was. But instead of working hard to look for the items that the little girl had listed, they were acting like it was all too impossible, and it was kind of goofy. And they also were acting like they were only going to spend $30 per child. And I thought, well, you picked up their list and they only asked for four things, and they weren't, they weren't extravagant items. So I would have tried my best to get three or four of the items exactly what they wanted. But anyway, neither here nor there. Um, I grew up with mom, and I would go every year and get a boy toy and a girl toy. Sometimes we each would get one, depending on, the year and budget and that sort of thing as I got older. And also when I got older and, was working and could get my own, and we would each get a boy and a girl item, and we would take it for Toys for Tots. Usually we had a restaurant in town that we liked, and we would make a day of it, and we would take our toys and donate them and have, lunch or breakfast or dinner, whatever time of day it was. And it was just something that we shared and enjoyed doing, and it made me feel good. But we didn't boast about it. And back in those days, of course, people didn't have internet, and we didn't record every moment of our lives. But I remember having that really good feeling that, somebody would wake up with a nice toy or game or a set of books or whatever it happened to be that we were able to donate. So it makes me sad when I see things like a year or two ago, maybe 3 years ago, I think it was Toys for Tots did a drive, and they bought bikes for like 100 and some kids. And the Walmart employees said that like the day after Christmas, people were lined up returning these bikes, and kids were crying because they wanted to keep their bikes. And I thought, that's the saddest and most awful thing I've ever heard of, where they were getting the money back for the bikes when those were the kids' Christmas. I know that things happen, and some people might need that cash or that credit to go and get formula or food or something else, but it just made me sad. And I know that some of those people were probably doing it because they were being selfish, and maybe they didn't really care about their kids' Christmas, or they didn't like, what was donated to them. I don't know. It just saddens me. So this year, if you're going to give from the heart, do something for someone else, it'll make you feel great. But try to give what they ask for, or as close as you can, with a good giving spirit if you're doing like Angel Tree or something like that. I just know that we need to teach our kids that material things aren't that important, and the spirit of Christmas and giving and receiving is about love. And being grateful for what we get is, that's a gratefulness is a gift with, in and of itself. So teach your kids to say please and thank you, and to be excited about whatever they have and whatever they're given from you or strangers, or just whatever surprise pops up in their lives. Is it a balloon from someone, or you go out with them shopping and somebody gives them a sucker at the bank or whatever when you're driving through, and or maybe gives you a cookie as you're getting your coffee for the kids or something. Just be grateful and teach them to say thank you, and be grateful and excited for those little things in life, those little surprises. And for any little gift that we get, I hope that everybody is enjoying this season. It's now the 9th or 8th of December. It's Tuesday, so whatever that is. And I haven't really decorated yet. I haven't wrap the rest of my presents. But I am grateful and thankful that I'm here and that I'm able to get things for my family and friends and see them hopefully over the holidays. And I hope that all of you get to see friends or family or make a phone call or receive one, get a card, send a card, whatever fills your heart with joy. And I'm going to go ahead and finish my chai latte and get ready and run my errands and try to get some things accomplished today. But I hope you have a great day and that you're enjoying this December of 2025 and finding hope and joy and a giving heart. So, thanks very much for joining me today and take care. All right.